In this video, I'm going to show you the most important features of Platform Manager for Power BI. I'm going to start with signing into the solution, and then you see the normal overview that you have in Platform Manager. On the left-hand side, you have the various modules that you can access. Then we have a list of folders, or workspaces or streams, and within each stream, you will see the content of those streams. So here we see the finance and budgeting reports, human resources, and so on and so forth. Besides Power BI reports, we also have semantic models stored in Platform Manager. So here you see the normal semantic models, and we also have some, or at least one parameterized version that is stored in this specific folder. So what we can do now, since we have these Power BI reports loaded, is we can, for instance, look at the relations. So what are the relations with, in this case, semantic model? So we can see what semantic model is used inside this report. And we can also look at the promotion levels. So with this we mean what version is used in development, what version is used in acceptance and in production. Of course, this depends on the number of environments that you have. In this case, we have version 1 in production, which has been approved. Version 2 is ready to be approved in acceptance. And after that, it can be published to production. And in development, of course, we can start building on version 3. We have the same information for semantic models. So if I would have a semantic model here and I click on that, I can also look at the relations. So which reports are basically using a semantic model. And for some, we will have multiple reports that use that semantic model. Like in this case, and also we have an overview of where this semantic model has been published to, looking at the promotion levels, right? So let's assume that I'm a developer. I want to make a change to one of the reports. And what I can simply do is I can click on the edit button. Then I can define where I want to change it. So I can use the local environment, which means I'm using Power BI Desktop to change an app. Or I could say I'm going to use the service, and I'm going to use one of the preferred workspaces. These are the ones I can choose between. I'm going to use the Platform Manager one for now. I can also type in a comment, like I'm going to implement a change request, and then click confirm, which means the app is retrieved from our works, our version control is put in the location, and it's automatically opened in Microsoft Fabric. If I make any changes right now, I'm just going to close this report, go back to Platform Manager, and perform a check-in. Now, during check-in, I can specify comments. And the check-in being performed. When I'm done implementing the changes, I can assign a version number. You can pick between these different types of versioning. So let's make this a minor version. Assigning this, and I'm going to promote this version to the acceptance environment. First of all, I can select in which folder I would like to put it. It's coming, you can see the source, so it's coming from sales and marketing. So let's use the same folder in acceptance as well. Then I can select the checklist I want to use. So let's use this one. I can again specify a comment. And what I can do is I can select the location of the semantic model I want to use. So we provide you the option to have all your semantic layers in either one folder or in different folders. That's up to you. And in this case, we have put them all in the data folder. So during the publication from development to acceptance and also into production, you can switch to a different semantic model. Of course, it needs to provide the same data that's actually being used by the Power BI report. The report is now published, something we can see if we look at the promotion levels again. then you can see that version 0.1.2 is now also accepted. And it has a state in progress. That means that it's not yet ready to go into production. So let's move to promotion. Here we see sales summary, and we can see that it's in progress. So what I can do now is I can go through the checklist. I can just simply approve the 2 steps. And then I can basically move my app into production. We can use auto promote, which means it's doing it automatically. Let's just do that. I can specify a comment, and then it's just one click to basically publish the app into production as well. Now, in the acceptance environment where we currently are, it seems logical to have a look at the app, to test it, to make sure that it's doing things it's supposed to do, according to the company rules and the change request specifications. So what I could do now is I could actually run a difference analysis report of the 2 versions I want to compare. And then I can have a look into the details, right? I can look at the report properties. I can have a look at the visual components. So all of that is available here. And once I'm satisfied with the result, I can go into the checklist and then approve the individual steps. So let's assume that I've monitored usage, so I've tested the application, and that seems okay. I've also tried loading the data into the application, which was fine as well. So I'll check this points have been if I would have rejected one of these points, you can see that the state of the item changed to rejected, and that means that I can never publish this to production. So in this case, I'm going to approve it, and now I'm going to move it to production as well, and I can use the auto promote for that. So I don't specify anything. I can schedule it if I want to do it now and run it straight away. So that is something that we have. Let's just go back to development. So what we also have, of course, some additional reporting. What I can do is I can run the reports section, go into the report section. So this report is showing everything that happened to a specific report or semantic model. From the start, when was it edited, who did it? In this case, it was me, support A. Morgan. When was it edited? So it's September 17th. And this is the remarks that we edited during the checkout. Then was check-in, there was a data extraction, another edit, another check-in, another data extraction, signed version. So the developer has done several checkouts, check-ins before actually promoting this to the next environment. Then the checklist step were approved, and so on and so forth. So that is useful. And also we have a report that lists all the components of a specific report, in this case, the Sales Insights Power BI report. Another thing we have I'd like to show you is that we can build releases. So if I go to the release section, I can build releases. So I could say, for instance, this level, I want to create a new release. Let's make this call as finance release Q4. I can do a description, of course. So now what we can do is we can actually select the items that we want to be part of this release. And these items could be, just a little bit, could be semantic models. So I could say, okay, I want to have a semantic model in this release. But I also want to have some reports in here as well. So let's go into here. Let's pick this one, pick that one. So you basically can select everything you want. And you can also select Excel sheets, text files, PDF files if they are stored in PlatformManager as well, of course. You can see that I'm adding 6 files. I'm deleting none. You can also delete files, of course. And what you can do is you can, if I now go to select items again, you can also select all the versions. So you don't have to select the latest version. You can also there's one version. In this case, there's another version. So let's say I want to publish version 1. That's also possible, right? Because maybe developers are working on version 2 or version 3. And then when you see what happens, whenever I have an older version of an app, I have a flag of my release. So it means that basically I'm not having all the latest versions which are available. And that could be deliberately, like I just said just now, but it could also be accidentally. So maybe you want to have the latest version, you were not aware of the fact that the developer is actually changing that. So if I now have a look at the release items, you can see exactly which reports or which semantic models are not the latest version. And then if you want to fix that, if you do want to have the latest version, you can simply say, okay, let's just update the release and have all the latest items in my release. And then if you go to the release items again, you will see that it now has all the latest versions. Right? So that's something I want to show you. And then finally, maybe even the most important thing, if you have a version control solution, of course, you would like to make use of that in a way that when you publish something to your production environment, you may want to restore to its previous version. Let's do that in acceptance because that is more of a version than I have in production. So let's assume that I want to roll back a change, right? So I have this executive summary report here in acceptance. It's version 3. It's item number 3. It has version number 001. I want to restore to this version, to version 1. What I can simply do is I can just click that and then restore. So if you have published a report to production, you can do this to basically get back to the previous version. And I have the same options as during the promotion. So I can select the checklist I want to use. I can select the location of the semantic model. Well, that's still the same, so I don't need to change that. And then that's all that is necessary to restore a previous version of this Power BI report to the associated server. And then you'll see that we now have version 1, which is the actual version, not version 3 anymore. So this is basically the highlights of what I wanted to show you. I hope it was informative for you. Let us know if you have any questions. Okay, bye-bye.